The house was silent. Not a single sound drifted through the halls, no ticking clock, no hum of the refrigerator, not even the distant bark of a neighbor's dog. It was the kind of silence that pressed in on you, making every shadow seem deeper, every corner more mysterious. Jason pulled his blankets up to his chin, trying to ignore the creaks and whispers of the night. The darkness felt heavier than usual, as if the whole world was holding its breath. He squeezed his eyes shut, willing himself to sleep, but his mind wouldn't quiet. He reached for his phone, the familiar glow comforting in the darkness. The soft blue light painted his face, making the room feel a little less lonely. It was his nightly ritual, a quick scroll through messages or a funny video to chase away the unease. He opened it, hoping for distraction, but something was wrong. The screen didn't show his usual apps or wallpaper. Instead, it was frozen on an image he didn't recognize. Instead of his usual home screen, there was a screenshot. It was as if someone had taken a picture of his phone while he slept. He didn't remember taking it. His fingers trembled slightly as he tried to recall if he'd used his phone in the middle of the night, but his memory was blank. The screenshot showed his photo gallery, birthday pictures, his dog, family vacation, all the moments he cherished, lined up in neat little squares. But this screenshot was different. It felt out of place, like a puzzle piece forced where it didn't belong. But this new image was at the top, timestamped 3:03 a.m. The numbers glowed on the screen, impossibly precise, as if mocking him. That was impossible. He was always asleep by then. He glanced at the clock on his nightstand, confirming the time. His heart thudded in his chest. A chill ran down his spine. Goosebumps prickled his skin, and he pulled the covers tighter, as if they could shield him from the strange feeling creeping over him. Maybe he'd done it in his sleep, but he couldn't remember waking up. He tried to convince himself it was just a glitch, a random tap, while he tossed and turned. But the doubt lingered. His mind raced for explanations, but none made sense. Had someone else used his phone? Was it possible for a device to act on its own? The questions piled up, each one heavier than the last. He thought about his phone's security. He always used a fingerprint lock. No one else knew his code. The idea that someone, or something, could bypass it made his stomach twist. The memory was just a blank. He searched his mind for any flicker of a dream or a half-remembered moment, but there was nothing. Just emptiness. He stared at the time again. 3:03 a.m. Something was wrong. The numbers seemed to pulse, drawing his gaze back, again and again. Outside, the wind picked up, rattling the window. Shadows danced across the walls, and Jason felt as if the night itself was watching him, waiting for his next move. This wasn't a simple mistake. It was as if the screenshot was a message, a warning, or maybe a clue to something he didn't understand. He felt dread creeping in. The room felt colder, the silence heavier, as if the house itself was holding its breath along with him. The house seemed to close in around him. Every shadow stretched longer, every sound seemed amplified, and Jason's imagination ran wild with possibilities. He clutched his phone tighter, searching for answers. The screenshot shouldn't exist. He scrolled through his gallery, looking for any other strange images, but everything else was normal. He listened for footsteps, for any sign that someone else was awake, but the house remained silent. He was alone with the mystery. Something very strange was happening, and as Jason lay there, heart pounding, he realized that tonight, sleep would not come easily. Jason tapped the screenshot, enlarging it. It was just his home screen. Apps in neat rows, nothing out of place. He scanned every icon, searching for a clue. The battery was almost full. The time, 3:03 a.m. Why take a picture of this? He thought of Chloe, but she was out. His parents? No way. The mystery deepened. He compared the screenshot to his real home screen. That's when he noticed it. Something was different. A new icon had appeared. It wasn't in the screenshot. His heart skipped a beat. He stared at the unfamiliar app. The confusion turned to fear. In the middle of his home screen was a black square, no name, no logo. Jason had never seen it before. He tried to delete it, but nothing happened. The usual X didn't appear. The app just sat there, absorbing the light. Panic rose in his chest. He'd never downloaded anything like this. It wasn't in his recent downloads. It was as if it had appeared out of nowhere. He wanted to turn off the phone, but curiosity won. With a trembling finger, he tapped the black icon. The screen went dark. He held his breath. The screen flickered, then showed a live video feed. It was his bedroom, his bed, his desk, his posters. The angle was wrong, as if from the ceiling. He saw the top of his own head, sitting in bed, staring at the phone. There was no camera up there. He looked up. Nothing but ceiling, and his light fixture. Yet the feed was clear, showing every detail. He waved his hand. The image on the phone waved back. He was being watched. The app was a window into his room. Fear settled over him like a heavy blanket. Jason's heart pounded so loudly he could almost hear it echoing in the silent room. The camera zoomed in, capturing every flicker of fear in his eyes. The silence pressed in from all sides, thick and suffocating, as if the air itself was holding its breath along with him. He could feel the weight of the moment, the tension building with every passing second. The image closed in, filling the screen with his terrified face, every detail magnified, wide eyes, clenched jaw, the unmistakable look of someone on the edge of panic. Suddenly, without warning, words began to materialize over the video feed. They seemed to emerge from nowhere, stark and undeniable, as if the device itself had come alive to deliver a message meant only for him. Big, blocky letters appeared. Take another. The words were impossible to ignore, their presence dominating the screen. It wasn't a suggestion or a plea. It was a command, cold and absolute, leaving no room for argument or hesitation. He felt powerless, as if invisible hands were holding him in place. The message seemed to reach out and wrap around him, trapping him in a moment he couldn't escape. Every instinct screamed at him to run, but he was rooted to the spot, unable to move. His mind raced, searching desperately for answers. What did it want from him? Why him? Was this some kind of twisted joke, or was there something more sinister at play? The questions tumbled over each other, each one more frantic than the last. He pinched his arm hard, hoping the pain would snap him out of this nightmare. But nothing changed. The room, the screen, the message, they all remained stubbornly real. The words stayed on the screen, unmoving, as if waiting for him to respond. The silence grew heavier, the pressure mounting with every second that ticked by. He stared at the phone, frozen in place, unable to tear his gaze away. His breath came in shallow bursts, his body locked in a state of shock. The command echoed in his mind, repeating over and over, growing louder with each repetition. Take another, take another. It was as if the words had a life of their own, burrowing deep into his thoughts. He didn't want to obey, but the pressure was overwhelming. It felt as though he had no choice, as if something unseen was guiding his actions, pushing him toward a decision he didn't want to make. The phone seemed to pulse in his hand, its glow intensifying with every beat of his heart. It was almost as if the device itself was alive, urging him onward, refusing to let him go. With a shaky breath, he braced himself for what would happen next, knowing that whatever choice he made, nothing would ever be the same again. The phone vibrated, then flashed blinding white. The room lit up, shadows fleeing for a split second. Jason gasped, squeezing his eyes shut. When he opened them, the screen was black, a loading circle spinning. The live feed was gone. Silence pressed in. Relief flickered. Maybe it was over. The spinning stopped. His photo gallery appeared. A new photo sat at the top, time-stamped 11:48 p.m. His breath caught. He had to see it. Dread filled him as he tapped the new image. What had the phone captured? He braced himself. The truth was just a tap away. The new photo loaded. It showed Jason in bed, clutching his phone, fear frozen on his face. The flash had caught every detail, his posters, his desk, his closet. It looked normal, just a scared boy in his room. Relief washed over him. Maybe it was just a creepy prank. He decided to delete the photo and the app. In the morning, he'd tell his dad everything. But curiosity made him zoom in, scanning the background. The flash had revealed every shadow. He looked at the dark space above his wardrobe. That's when he saw it. Something was there. Something that shouldn't be. In the photograph, a dark, twisted shape hung from the ceiling, just behind Jason's shoulder. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than a trick of the light, a shadow cast by an old lamp, or maybe a coat draped over a beam. But the longer he stared, the more the shape seemed to shift, to take on a form that was both alien and disturbingly familiar. Jason felt a chill crawl up his spine as he realized the thing was not a part of the room at all. At first it blended perfectly with the shadows, almost as if it belonged there. lurking in the periphery where no one would notice. The corners of the room seemed to grow darker, the air heavier, as if the thing's presence was warping the space around it. But it was there. Long, impossibly thin, ending in spindly, pale fingers that looked almost translucent in the dim light. The fingers seemed to twitch, as if they were aware of being seen, and Jason's breath caught in his throat. They reached down toward him, stretching further with every heartbeat. His blood ran cold, and he felt rooted to the spot, unable to move or even call out for help. The sensation was like being trapped in a nightmare, but he was wide awake. The thing had been watching him from above, silent and patient, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. Jason wondered how many nights it had been there, unseen, just out of sight. The app wasn't just a window for him, it was a window for the thing as well. Every time he opened it, he felt as if something on the other side was peering back, studying him, learning his habits and fears. The message made sense now. It wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. A signal that the barrier between their worlds had thinned. The first picture was for Jason, a snapshot of his own reality, a reminder of what was normal, what was safe. The second was for the thing. It was a glimpse into something else, a world that overlapped with his own, where shadows had substance and nightmares could reach out and touch you. He glanced up. Nothing but darkness. The ceiling was empty, or so it seemed, but the sense of being watched was overwhelming, pressing down on him like a physical weight. But the photo didn't lie. It showed what his eyes couldn't see, what his mind refused to accept. He zoomed in. The fingers were closer now, reaching further than before, as if the act of looking had drawn them nearer. A scraping sound came from above, slow and deliberate, like fingernails dragging across old wood. Jason's heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the sound from the ceiling. He froze, too scared to look up. Every instinct screamed at him to run, but his body wouldn't obey. The thing was real, and it was closer than ever. It was in his room, sharing the same air, the same silence. The boundaries between his world and the thing's had blurred. The fingers in the photo had moved. Each new image showed them inching closer, as if the thing was aware of being watched and was responding to his fear. They were much, much closer now. So close, it felt like they could reach through the screen and pull him into the darkness above.